Oh, going through Preds Facebook and Twitter. Not something I would recommend, but if it helps you get through tonight, I'll let you do it just this once, Jersey guy. Oh, no, no, no. I'm checking to see what concerts might be upcoming to Bridgetown that this team can avoid going to if they had plans to it after losing this game. Preds lose 4-3 in overtime Tuesday night to the Montreal Canadiens inside Bridgestone Arena. On a night where the first line showed up in droves, what I've been asking for. Well, the secondary scoring dried up and there was no defensive support. And the Preds were lucky. Thank God they still got a point to give themselves somewhat of a cushion. On a night where Colton Sissons plays his 600th career game. Forsberg scores his 30th goal. Nyquist scores his 17th goal. And Ryan O'Reilly scored what looked to be the go-ahead goal in the third, his 23rd of the season, and his team still finds a way to lose. Oh, there'll be jump cuts because my frustration is so much that I can't do this in one take tonight because I am so disappointed in this team that their 8-game winning streak is over. Thank God they extended their point streak with now 19 games left to go in the season. But you expected more out of them. But I guess we should have expected that something like this might happen after such an emotional win on Saturday, that they would have a letdown game unless against an inferior team like Montreal. I'm sorry, but they aren't. They aren't in a playoff spot, and they're not going to be in the playoffs this year. In the second period, after Gustav Nyquist had made it 2-0, things looked home and cool. And I was hoping the Preds would get another goal to give themselves somewhat of a cushion because 2-goal leads can be dangerous. And then when Brendan Gallagher made it 2-1, it's like, okay, enough fooling around. Let's wake up call. And then 6 seconds after Gallagher scored, how the heck does Savard able to shoot the puck in? It goes off the glass. The weirdest thing I had ever seen. And Saros goes back to plate, assuming the bounce is going to take the puck behind the net. No, it goes straight in. He's vacated the net on that lucky bounce. And in a matter of 6 seconds, the fastest 2 goals the Preds have allowed to be scored against him. This game is all tied at 2 after 2. And then in the third period, in a period where the Preds were only able to muster 7 shots. Yeah, I know the Habs only mustered 7 shots, but you're at home. You've got the heater of an 8-game winning streak. You should be able to muster more than that. But hey, under 8 minutes left to go, Ryan O'Reilly stepped up and after a pass came from behind the Habs net and roofed it on Jake Allen. Yes, the same Jake Allen that the Preds have defeated in the playoffs back in 2017. Oh, that was a time to be alive. This team is nowhere close to that right now. And when the Preds had that 3-2 lead, it's like, okay, maybe they're going to be okay. But then bad turnover by Tommy Novak. Yes, Tommy Novak, it would have been nice if you had stepped up in this game, considering the fact you just got paid yesterday. Bad turnover that Yossi can't get control of. I saw some people on Preds Facebook blaming Yossi for this upcoming goal. No, it was Novak for the bad pass. And then, yes, I will blame this guy. I don't blame him for the lucky bounce that allowed the 2-2 goal when Joshua Roy goes into the Preds zone from distance, snaps it, it beats Saros. That is a goal you'd like Saros to have. But alas, this game is tied right back up at 3. But just over 3 minutes left to go in regulation, play in the Habs zone again. Puck comes from distance, is knocked down in front. Michael McCarron is there in front of Jake Allen, turns around, bangs it home. Preds appear to take a 4-3 lead. And maybe they'll, nope, just wait a minute. Habs want a challenge. That was knocked down for a high stick, and they didn't call it in the moment. But yes, the replay confirmed that it was knocked down in a high stick. You got to remember that if a goal goes directly in off of a high stick or it is knocked down right in front of the goalie's net because of a high stick, it cannot be allowed. The Habs have a successful challenge. This game remains tied at 3 as Preds fans can feel a little solace as this game is approaching triple zeros in regulation that, oh, maybe we'll be lucky enough to get a point, and then under 2 minutes, the Preds take a too many men on the ice. And it wasn't even close. You guys can see the replay. I'm sure you saw it on Bowie's or with me, much less I forget to say that I was able to watch this on Bowie Sports up in Canada on center ice. But just after the Habs cut into the Preds lead, the audio went on Bowie Sports. I was able to stream it off my phone, no problem. The audio was fine there, so I don't know if it came back in the third, and NHL Center Ice on TELUS in Canada decided not to switch back. But because the audio went, I got stuck on my main big TV watching it on TSN, so that was fun. And then to see that I had to watch the third and then see their replay, that it was not just 6 men for too many men on the ice that led to that Habs power play under 2 minutes left to go in regulation. It was a good 7. So bad bench management putting the Habs on the power play. Fortunately, the Preds were able to ice the puck 2, 3, maybe 4 times to their heart's content, ushering this game into overtime. Thank God they got a point, because they had to get something because they got help on the out-of-town scoreboard, and you didn't want to waste that. I'll get to that in the postgame. And then in overtime, Habs had 11 seconds of power play time carried over from regulation into overtime. The Preds killed off the power play, but they cannot scramble back in time to defend. Suzuki from the side roofs it past Saros, and the Habs, amazingly, gotta give them credit, are able to walk this game off in overtime. Their only lead of the game was the one that won it for them, winning it 4-3. In summary, I have nothing really else to say. I'm not so much as angry as I'm disappointed that this team should have and could have got this winning streak up to 9 games. And every point is going to count from here on out. There is no taking a day off when you're not comfortably higher than a wild card spot trying to nail down a playoff spot. This team has to pick itself up, dust itself off, and get ready for a winnable game on Thursday when Buffalo comes to Bridgestone. I do not want any excuses after you bleeped the bed tonight. You cannot settle for anything less than 2 points on Thursday, preferably in regulation, because heck, you never know if tiebreakers may come in handy. But then the Preds will go on a 4-game road trip, also against winnable teams. You have league worse or down there with Chicago in Columbus on Saturday. Yes, you'll have another matinee game the very next day with the time change of time skipping ahead an hour into Sunday when you go into Minnesota. Minnesota is lower than you in the standings. If you win that game, you can basically put their playoff chances out of reach or even catching you. But then it's where it gets a little tough, because you have the 2 days off when you go to face Winnipeg in Winnipeg, and then 2 days off where you finish off the road trip in Seattle. Not the Preds' best friend in the previous couple seasons to play on a road before they finally come home again. And this is where it comes in handy that thank God they got the point, because the Preds saw on the out-of-town scoreboard, fans, if you hadn't noticed, the Islanders did you a huge favor when they beat St. Louis in regulation. So the Preds gained a point on them. How that affects the standings, the Preds are 6 points up on the Blues and the Kraken. The Kraken won in Winnipeg, but each of those teams only has a game in hand. So not really punishable against the Preds, even though they still have to face St. Louis as well after they go into Seattle a week from Saturday. As for games currently going on as I shoot this, the Kings are beating the Canucks 1-0. So hopefully by the time this is published and uploaded to YouTube, maybe the Canucks could have come back in that and win it in regulation so that the Kings get no points. That would go a long way to helping the Preds out so that they can possibly jump over the Kings. But anyways, I'm just going to crumple this one up and throw it away. Be thankful that they got a point and try to get some sleep tonight, not too stressed about the remaining 19 games on the schedule. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching as always. Click a like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media where you can interact with me during Preds games by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Predemption. And Preds, with the remaining games on the schedule, teams that are lower than you in the standings, please find a way to get 2 points whenever possible.